Have you ever asked yourself the question, what if I'm not enough? Well, the truth is, without Christ, none of us are enough, right? But oftentimes we ask ourselves about not being enough because we compare ourselves to other people. Like, it was easy for me to do that growing up and to see that I didn't measure up. Literally, I was one of the shortest guys in my whole school. When I was in first grade, out of the 4 or 5 first grade classrooms, me and about one other guy, we were the shortest in the whole first grade. Guess what? That was true for second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade. You guessed it, 10th grade. When I became 15, I got my learner's permit. You know what it said on my driver's license or my learner's permit where it said height? 5'1". Not only was I the shortest guy, in high school, I was shorter than most girls. Now, you might know that now I'm not short. I'm 6 foot tall. And so you might say, I would have never guessed you were so short. Here's what's crazy. I was probably 6 foot tall for 10 years. And I would still hear someone crack a short joke, and I would look around thinking someone was talking about me. Because for the first 15 or 16 years of my life, all I ever heard was everybody talking about me being the shortest. I even also during elementary school and still to today to a degree, I suffer with dyslexia. And I say I suffer, that's not the right way to say it. I just had to learn how to read and it wasn't easy. And spelling isn't easy. And that has been, especially in elementary and middle school and all, because you're around people that reading comes easy and spelling comes easy. And when you have something like that, it's a bear. And it's easy to compare and think, well, why can't I do what they do? Why can't I have it as easy as they have it? Listen, we're all different. You have your story of how if you compare yourself to others, you don't measure up. But what we need to think about when we use the term measure up, am I enough? The question is, what's the standard? If the standard's here and you're here, you're above the standard. So what's the standard? What causes you to see that the standard is here and you only are here and you look and say, I just don't measure up? I want to encourage you to realize that if you're going to go through life and you're going to constantly compare yourself to other people, you're going to find that oftentimes you don't measure up. If you're going to compare yourself to kind of like false ideas, like I want to be, this extreme level of success and I won't be satisfied until I do, or maybe this extreme level of fitness or wealth or style or attractiveness or just being liked, being popular. And you love it until you realize someone else is more popular than you. You want this level of respect. I demand that people respect. Look, whatever it is that you look at yourself and say, I just don't measure up. I want to encourage you to change the standard. Instead of having the standard being other people or characteristics like I just mentioned, what if the standard was Jesus Christ? That's what Ephesians 4 in verse 13 and verse 15 teaches us to do. It teaches us to measure ourselves in all ways against Jesus Christ. In other words, you hold Jesus up and then you say, okay, how do I measure against Jesus? And you find out, wow, Jesus is up here and I'm way down here. But you know what? He doesn't give us this standard to say to us, hey, you don't measure up. He gives us this standard to show us what we can become. Jesus is constantly nurturing us and growing us into more every day. It's like the parable of the talents. Remember the 2 and the 5 talents used their talents in God's kingdom? In other words, they lived faithfully. And he said, to the one who's begun a little and they've done much with it, I'm going to make them ruler over even more. In other words, the Lord will constantly grow us, but we can only have one master. We can only have one that is the standard in our life. And so it's important that you allow Jesus to be the one that you measure up to. And I remember being in high school and just thinking about kids that didn't appreciate Christianity. And I remember thinking, they're never going to say, wow, I'm glad that you live a Christian life. Instead, they kind of would mock me sometime or not understand me at times. And you know what I would say, even in high school, I say to myself, I'm not trying to measure up to you. I'm trying to measure up to Jesus. More than anything, I want Jesus to say at the end of each day of my life, well done. And then I know that the times I fail Jesus, the beautiful thing is he's trying to lift me up. He's not trying to push me down. And so he'll quickly forgive me and continues always to love me. Because listen, to Jesus, not only am I enough, I'm more than a conqueror. Now, on our own, we're not enough. But with Jesus, we're more than enough. God bless you.